Venice, a city of romance. Canals whisper secrets, gondolas glide through time. But darkness lingers beneath the beauty. Just beyond the shimmering water, a shadow falls. Poveglia Island, a place where hope goes to die. I've walked in darkness before, felt the chill of the unknown. Poveglia called to me, its history, a tapestry of suffering, plague victims, their cries silenced, mental patients, their minds shattered. Their energy remains trapped, searching. This wasn't just an investigation, it was a pilgrimage to confront the darkness, to hear the whispers of the dead. Poveglia awaited. I could feel it, watching, waiting. Poveglia's story is a descent into madness. The plague ravaged Venice, a city once known for its beauty and grandeur. The bustling streets and vibrant canals fell silent as the Black Death swept through, leaving a trail of sorrow and despair. Thousands dumped on the island, left to die in isolation, away from the city. The sick and dying were ferried to Poveglia, their cries for help echoing across the water, unheard and unanswered. Their bodies burned in pyres, the air thick with the stench of burning flesh, a grim reminder of the lives lost. The flames consumed the dead, but the memories of their suffering lingered, the soil soaked in ash and despair. Centuries passed, the island silent. Then the asylum, 1922. The once desolate land found a new purpose, but it was far from salvation. A mental hospital opened its doors, a place of torment. Patients reported screams. The walls of the asylum witnessed unspeakable horrors as the cries of the tormented echoed through the halls. Shadows moving in the night, whispers of the past haunting the present. The island's dark history seemed to come alive, as if the spirits of the dead were restless. The doctor, a cruel man, he experimented on them, tortured their minds. His methods were barbaric and his thirst for knowledge knew no bounds. The patients were his unwilling subjects, their suffering a testament to his madness. Legend says he went mad, driven to insanity by the very horrors he inflicted. The line between doctor and patient blurred as he became a prisoner of his own mind, jumped from the bell tower. His screams still echo. The tower stands as a silent witness to his final act of desperation, a monument to his madness. The island, closed in the 1960s, abandoned, forgotten. Nature began to reclaim the land, but the memories of its dark past remained. But the past never truly dies. It lingers. The spirits of the dead trapped in a perpetual state of unrest. Their stories etched into the very fabric of the island, like a stain on the soul. Poveglia, a graveyard of history. The island stands as a testament to human suffering, a place where the past and present collide, a breeding ground for the paranormal. The island's dark energy attracts those who seek to uncover its secrets, but they often find more than they bargained for. Poveglia remains a place of mystery and fear, a haunting reminder of the fragility of life. The boat cut through the water, the sun, a pale ghost behind the clouds. Poveglia loomed closer, a jagged silhouette against the grey sky. My heart pounded, anticipation mixed with dread. The air grew colder. Seagulls circled overhead, their cries echoing our unease. The water, choppy and dark, seemed to churn with unseen energy. As we approached the shore, a wave of nausea washed over me. The island's energy, palpable, oppressive. Stepping onto the island, I felt a weight settle on my chest. The ground, uneven and overgrown, felt strangely hollow. The silence was deafening, broken only by the wind whistling through the crumbling buildings. We were not alone. The island breathed decay. Every step disturbed long-forgotten memories buried beneath the overgrown vegetation. The air was thick with an unsettling stillness, as if the island itself was watching us. Buildings, half collapsed, reached for the sky like skeletal fingers. These structures, once teeming with life, now stood as silent sentinels, guarding the secrets of the past. Windows, like vacant eyes, stared back at us. They seemed to follow our every move, their emptiness echoing the void left by those who once called this place home. The air hung heavy, thick with the scent of mildew and something metallic. The mist clung to our skin, adding to the oppressive atmosphere. As we moved deeper, the wind picked up. It howled through the trees, carrying with it the whispers of the past. Whispering voices seemed to ride on the gusts. They were faint, almost imperceptible, but unmistakably there. The hair on my arms stood on end. We entered the asylum. The building loomed before us, its darkened hallways promising more secrets and more horrors. The air inside was stagnant and cold. It felt as if time had stopped within these walls, trapping the memories and the spirits of the past. Dust motes danced in the faint light filtering through the boarded-up windows. They moved like tiny spectres, caught in a perpetual dance of decay. The silence here was different, heavier. It was a silence that spoke volumes, filled with the weight of untold stories and unspoken fears. The asylum's corridors stretched before us, dark and menacing. Each room held its own story of suffering. Rusted beds, chipped enamel basins, restraints bolted to the walls. The air was thick with the energy of pain and despair. We entered a room. A chill ran down my spine. A child's laughter echoed in the silence. I spun around, but there was nothing there. Just the oppressive darkness and the feeling of being watched. In another room we found a pile of medical charts, names scribbled on yellowed paper, dates, diagnoses, evidence of the horrors that unfolded within these walls. Each chart, a life extinguished, a soul lost. The deeper we ventured, the more unsettling the island became. The shadows seemed to twist and writhe, taking on grotesque shapes. Faces appeared in the peeling paint, their expressions filled with anguish and rage. We set up our equipment in the main ward. The EMF meter spiked erratically. The temperature plummeted. I felt a presence, cold and malevolent, pressing against me. It was as if the island itself was pushing back, trying to force us out. Then the EVP session. We asked questions into the darkness. Who is here with us? What happened to you? The responses sent chills down my spine. Whispers, growls, and then a voice, clear as day. Get out. The energy in the asylum was overwhelming. The air was thick with a sense of foreboding, making every breath feel heavy and labored. Shadows seemed to move on their own, and the temperature would drop suddenly, sending chills down our spines. I felt a hand on my shoulder, cold and heavy. The sensation was so real, I was convinced someone was standing right behind me. I spun around, but there was no one there. The room was empty, yet the feeling of being watched was inescapable. We decided to investigate the bell tower. Each step we took echoed through the hollow structure, amplifying the sense of isolation. Reaching the top, we were met with a breathtaking view of the island and the Venetian lagoon. For a moment, it felt like we had escaped the asylum's grip. As darkness descended, the island seemed to come alive. Shadows danced in the fading light. Whispers followed us through the crumbling corridors. We had to get off the island, now. We made our way back to the boat, our footsteps echoing in the silence. The air was thick with the feeling of being watched, hunted. As we pushed off from the shore, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching us from the shadows. The boat ride back was tense and silent. We were all shaken to our core. As Poveglia receded into the distance, I couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. We had escaped the island's grasp, for now. Back in Venice, the city lights seemed almost blinding. The sounds of laughter and music grated on my ears. I couldn't shake the feeling of the island's darkness clinging to me, a chilling reminder of the horrors we had witnessed. Poveglia had gotten under my skin. The whispers, the shadows, the overwhelming sense of despair. It was a place where the veil between the living and the dead felt thin, almost non-existent. I had gone to Poveglia seeking answers, but I left with more questions than ever before. What truly transpired on that island? What tormented souls still walked its grounds? Poveglia Island, a place of unspeakable suffering, a breeding ground for paranormal activity. It is a stark reminder of the darkness that can reside in the human heart. And the echoes of that darkness linger long after the screams have faded. The island may be abandoned, but it will never be truly empty. The spirits of the dead remain, trapped in an endless cycle of suffering. Their cries for help echo through the crumbling walls, a chilling testament to the horrors that unfolded on that cursed island. Poveglia, never forgotten.